Saw me? We're good? Yeah. And we're back on Friday here for Geek Out SA. Welcome. And this is a new thing for us.
Yeah, I think it's going to take some getting used to.
We've never ever done it on a Friday.
No, it was always Wednesday.
It was always Wednesdays.
And then when I started class, Tuesday. And now that's all gotten overwhelming, Friday. So just like, it's the yo-yo show.
I think this is probably where we're going to stay for a good while.
Yeah, I think this will be good as far as for school and everything because I have classes and I have homework assignments. But Friday tends to kind of be our one day where we chill and have a date and stuff like that. And then 6 o'clock, some of our friends had actually said, hey, we're trying to watch The Flash or whatever, and you're on during our show. And then Vincent and I were like, hey, we want to watch The Flash too. So we just thought, well, if we go on at 6, and some people had recommended that, then people can see us, they're kind of coming home from work. They can listen to what we've had to say, and then go and watch their shows and stuff like that. So I think this will be a good compromise. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see if it's going to work. But I'm hoping it will. I mean, it seems to be out of the way for everything. And we have a new producer and camera guy.
We do have a new producer camera guy. And if everybody watched our live video on our Facebook page, they saw who it is.
And it's Chris Pagonis.
No, don't tell them.
Yeah.
Guess.
So he's the voice behind all the cameras and stuff. So you'll hear him interject quite a bit.
Sometimes, maybe.
Hopefully.
Sometimes a little bit, depending on what we have to say. Well, that was the nice thing about Al, and one of the things that I felt like I was going to really miss about Al. Like, our sons have taken over for us sometimes, and they'll say things every once in a while, but they're our sons, so they're a little... Like, they're kind of timid about, like, what are they going to say, and do they really want to say anything, and they're kind of lazy, so they don't want to, like, do the show. Because what do they get out of it? Room and board and food and stuff. And, hey, I can hear me. You got that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oops.
We're good, apparently. So, and Al, now, Christopher's not our age, unfortunately, so he's not going to get some of our stuff. And Al was, like, a little bit older.
He'll get some of it.
Excuse me.
Like, we know how you kids are these days, so.
Killing Colleen's feed right now.
Shut her mic off. Shut her mic off.
Shut her up. Shut her up.
Get her out of here. No, we had the new Nostalgia podcast on here not too long ago, and they're super young. Like, they're the age of our children.
We have a I'm watching you, Christopher, Kathleen Darrow.
You have a stalker already, so you're going to be like
stalker,
Stephen Hawking. Suddenly, people were found with the layout of Christopher's home and office and where he drives to and what time he goes to the restroom. And they were going to kill him.
I want to know where I drive
to. And when cars crash into his house.
Okay, where Charles drives you to. Now Charles is implicated too. Charles, you're going to die too.
Yes, and we have a one-person audience too, so that's kind of cool too.
We have Charles, so we're going to torture Charles too.
Do you upload on demand?
I can.
We're going to get him a sign. Clap, Charles, damn it, clap.
We're going to have to bring those sound effects in the background.
It'll be less work for Charles. Record it now and loop it so he doesn't have to do anything.
So yeah, it's Friday and
it's different.
We're gonna hopefully gain more initial viewers by doing that because every time can everybody make it on Wednesdays or Tuesdays at 8.
I think the first few times we're gonna have to advertise it and kind of get people used to it, but I think once we do,
it's a big change.
It's a huge leap.
It's a huge change. Yeah. But we're not going up against anyone else in town that I know of.
And so far I've talked to some people that want to be guests, and it still seems like this time frame they're still going to be able to make it. Sometimes it's a little iffy because people work, Some people can work until 5 or 6, and we know how traffic is here in San Antonio. So
It's pronounced Darrow.
Darrow.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you know who that is.
My soon-to-be sister-in-law.
Oh, your soon-to-be
Ah.
sister-in-law. There you go.
Well, yeah. She would be my sister. No. Yes. Maybe.
Yes. No, you don't know.
Something like that.
Somebody he might
She
soon
will
be
be
related
marrying
to.
my brother-in-law. There you go. Right? That would make her
Yes,
my sister-in-law. Yeah.
sister-in-law. Yes, that's correct.
Family things are confusing. Whatever.
You're like, I'm confused.
Something
People
like
are
that.
marrying people, and there's stuff going on. We have to dress up
Sister-in-law
and
by
crap.
marriage,
Right, you know.
something like that. So,
So what do you want to talk about?
well, before we get on to the main thing, last week we were at Texicon.
We were at Texicon,
which is a tabletop gaming convention in Hearst, Texas.
which is kind of the
Dallas Fort Worth area because it's in between.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun. I don't know if y'all saw the pictures on there, but we're having.
I did. I put
fun.
up the video.
Yeah.
So we kind of had twofold. It was kind of a nice twofold thing. So if people don't know, Vincent and I write our own tabletop games, and we run a tabletop gaming convention here in San Antonio, along with doing the show here. So when we went to Texicon, Vincent got to GM, which means Game Master. He got to run our tabletop role-playing game where you're like in a spy and you're in that kind of whole
I'm in a spy?
espionage James Bond. Yeah, in a spy world is what I meant. But you can be in a spy because you're playing as that character.
I don't want to be in a spy.
You are. You have to be.
I
It's an
wanna be
espionage
a
game.
spy. But I don't want to be in a spy.
You want to show them the cover? You've got it right there.
Well, these are actually the demo character sheets.
So that's kind of the genre that you're in. So you're in this world of espionage, and it's kind of a James Bondy, Mission Impossible-esque type thing. So Vincent got to run that. And then on the other side, I got to actually play games, which we don't get to do very often anymore. And their special guest was Calliope Games.
Yeah.
So
We got to play a new game that's not out right now.
Which one?
The one where you're climbing.
Oh, we did.
That one, I like that game. I
Yeah.
really liked the dynamics of it. Well, I guess they were playing it. I don't know. Were they playing it out in the open? They weren't. So we can't really talk about it.
I'm just like looking at you like, how much of this are you going to talk about? Because I don't know.
Because it was only played with like people in the industry.
Yeah.
And
So-
since we're in the industry, we got to play with these.
But I got to play a cute little, like a group game that they have, which was really fun. It was called Hive Mind. And what you have to do is, we had like 7 people at the table. And they have cards and they have different options. And you get to ask, when it's your turn, you get to ask one of the questions. So like, name the top 3, things that are crunch when you eat them. Okay? So what you're trying to do is think of things that crunch when you eat them, but think of things that everybody else at the table is going to think of, right? Because the more people at the table who think of those things, the more points you get.
So it kind of has the aspect of like Cards Against Humanity, because I didn't get to play that one.
Yeah, you didn't get to play that one.
Cards Against Humanity, you have to kind of like assume what everybody else is gonna agree on.
Right, so you don't want to be super obscure. It's kind of like Dixit. You've played Dixit with
I played
me.
Dixit.
So in Dixit, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get people
It's not a dirty
to guess.
game, guys. It's just it's just Dixit. That's what it's called.
You're trying to get people to guess like what card was yours based on the description that you gave, but you don't want too many people to guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of that kind of dynamic. So, and it's called Hive Mind, and you get to be little bees, and you're in the beehive, and then as you're losing points, you get kicked out of the beehive. That's pretty much it. So it was really cute. I played that one. I also played, oh Jesus, I don't even remember the name of it now. It was like Master Chef, the board game, and it was really cute. And you had to like make different menu items. It was kind of like Sushi Go-ish, but more of a board game. Oh, and then we got to play that one that was like Clue, but that was from Cheap Ass Games, Kill Dr. Lucky.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
And that was an after hours thing with not everybody gets to go to it, but we get to experience because Again, we're in the industry, so
And I played
Sorry.
Train Maker. So what I'm hoping to do is pick
it
up
was
some
fun.
of these things and show them off.
Other people got to play it, just not when we got to play it.
Yeah. I'm hoping to pick up some of these things and show them off when we have Game Expo in October. So that's the plan now that I've learned some new games. That's always the plan. Every time I learn a new game, I'm hoping to bring it here in San Antonio and kind of show people what it's like. And then Marcelo's going to come. Marcelo actually happened to be at Texicon, and he's our guest for Game Expo. And he has this really cool miniatures-esque Indy 500 kind of game. But he is a Disney super freak, so he has all the cars from the Cars movies.
Oh.
So you play, and he's adapted it because he's super, like, he's been in the industry for almost 30 years. So he's really into gaming, and he knows. So he's adapted it to have all the stats and stuff that he believes that you would have, you know, like as Lightning McQueen and as the other cute cars from the Cars movies. So he's planning on bringing that to Game Expo so people
Kathleen
can play.
says, "Is that not how bees work?"
They kick
Or
people
that
out of the
they
hive?
Kick people out of the hive. I guess I don't know.
Bees kick other bees out of the hive? I don't think so. I think they work together collaboratively all the time. I don't know. I'm not a bee.
The hive mind. I don't know. It's the Borg.
The Borg. The bees are the Borg.
Yeah.
So yeah,
More
we got
bees.
to play a lot of fun games. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and I actually dusted off my game mastering chops because I haven't run anything for like a decade or maybe even over.
Yeah, I was a little concerned, and then I was a little concerned, poor Vince. The first 2 people to come sign up for his game were children. And if you don't know Vincent, yeah, he doesn't really like children. He's not sure why we don't eat them.
I wasn't bad. It's just
By the end of the game, he was like, please make them go away. Please make it stop. And so then the next session he ran, one of the little boys came back to play again because he liked it so much.
You have a gift.
And Vincent was like, "Oh, I don't know if this game is gonna make, like, I don't know if enough people are gonna show up because if people don't show up to your
and
game,
he was
your
like,
game doesn't
because
make."
I let them roll their disadvantage, and the second time he rolled his disadvantage, I was like,
Was it a grown-up thing? Oh man. Okay, so our game is
he's a
very
nymphomaniac.
our game is very
Nymphomaniac.
adult. It's a very adult game. But when we play at cons, if we let kids come, we usually kind of, adult it down a little. Yeah. But some of the disadvantages are very, very adult. Like, I mean, they're a disadvantage, so some of them are pretty gross, to be really honest. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting. So I had him re-roll, and he ended up becoming an alcoholic. So
Okay. So that at
Not
least
much
he's seen
better,
at least
but-
he's seen that on TV or something, or at home. I don't know. I'm just like.
Thank you, CSI.
Yeah, exactly, right? So all in all, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of space for miniatures gaming, it was War Machine. Up there, it's War Machine. Down here, I see a lot of Warhammer and Star Wars and Armada, X-Wing, and stuff like that. Up there, it's very much War Machine. It's War
Yeah.
Machine, War Machine. And they were
And, like,
doing
historical miniatures.
some kind of strange, like, Mad Max thing going on. And when they would win, they would paint their faces with the metal, like...
with
it
like
was
silver
the
paint.
icing. It was the silver
I
icing, But they were going around like, I mean, they were full on. Like,
That's
getting
what
a little
I
crazy in
saw.
there.
That I was just like, oh, that's Mad Max.
Yeah, they were. Whenever they would win, like certain parts or certain things, they
You'll
would
be in
get.
Valhalla,
yeah.
shiny and chrome.
They were
Chrome.
shiny and chroming. Yes, they were. So they were really getting into it, and I was like, oh, maybe I won't go in there. It was like a little strange in there, and a lot of dudes, a lot of testosterone in that room. So,
Yeah.
I did not see any. Like, I have seen women play X-Wing and Armada, and I've seen women play. I've seen a couple of women play Warhammer, not a whole lot. But in that War Machine room, the ladies were all like, gotta go. These guys are a little intense. So I just don't like miniatures. I don't like the whole measuring aspect and all of that. And it's too much thinking for me. I want to sit down and play a game that's just like fun and quick. And
We played like X-wing, and you didn't.
but X-Wing's not the same because it
Well,
comes
because
with
it
a
has the
preset
template.
tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a preset template, so I don't
And then
have
I think
to.
Armada has the same kind of.
Armada
thing
has
too,
the same,
but it has
yeah.
like a better.
So those two I don't
System.
mind, but as far as like War Machine, Warhammer, historical
Warhammer
miniatures,
40K for the win.
Yes.
I mean that's the thing here in San Antonio.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Warhammer
it's
40K is
that
the thing.
and Armada
Yeah.
and X-wing. So
Yeah, and I'm in awe of all like the painting skills that they have and stuff. I really am.
that's some
like,
really awesome stuff. Yeah.
No qualms with them gaming. Like I have straight on respect for their game. It's just not my game. I have a lot of friends who really like those epically long board games too, and that's not my thing either. Like I can't take it. Like I can't play them. I don't want to. I don't like it.
Like the Game of Thrones.
I'll
board
never
game?
play the
No.
Game of Thrones again. Like I feel bad because people were so excited and they really wanted me to play, and I kept trying to like. This is one of the pitfalls of being a girl in gaming. It's like a double-edged sword. I can play the girl thing, which shame on me, but I do this. I'm so sorry. I play the girl thing, and then they're like, oh, she's sweet and innocent. She's a girl. And then I kick your ass, right? Kick your butt. Sorry. And then, or I'm trying to lose, like in Game of Thrones. I was trying to lose. I hated that game. We had been in it for like 4 hours. I wanted to lose. I was doing everything in my power, and they kept coming to help me. And I was like, thank you. You're so nice. You helped me. Oh my God. I'm so happy. I was going to lose. I didn't even realize that. Oh my God.
It's the
8 hours later.
You ultimately lost. No.
I did. It's the ultimate loss.
the knight in shining armor syndrome.
It's a true story.
I don't fall for that though.
No, he's mean to me.
If you're gonna beat me, you're gonna beat me fair and square.
Yeah, you never fall for the eye
I'm not gonna
batting.
fall.
Like, no.
It's like no,
That doesn't work at all.
you need to beat me with your skills. Well, that's a skill, I guess.
It is a skill.
You know what is a real good skill? Are Jedi skills, and apparently,
He's the master of segues.
Mace Windu could very well still be alive.
Is it his Jedi skills or is it his Samuel L. Jackson skills?
That's a little bit of both. So they were talking to Samuel L. Jackson, and they're asking, "Oh, so what do you think about Mace Windu being dead?" And he said, "Well, Jedis can very well fall long distances and be alive. They did it in episode 2. Was that episode 2?
Well,
Or was
here's
it
my
episode,
thing.
No, it was in episode 3, where Anakin jumps out of the cruiser and then falls.
Oh, yeah, and then
And- yeah.
lands on the other.
So could he have landed on something because he has a Jedi and he has like premonitions and he knows what he's gonna land on before it actually happens?
Well, there's a bunch of fan theory that I've heard that Gollum, what is his name in the new movie?
Smeagol?
No,
Oh.
no. What's his face? Snart? I don't
Snart.
know. No, not Snart. That's the ice guy. What's his
Snoke.
name? Yeah.
No.
That guy.
Snoke.
Gollum. That he's really Palpatine who like fell and then more stuff happened to him or whatever.
Well, in the books, Palpatine is still alive.
Yeah, okay, so if Palpatine fell.
Like in the video games, Darth Maul is still alive after he got chopped in half.
Well, that's just ridiculous. But let's say Palpatine fell and used some of his Sith powers, which are basically Jedi powers, right? To whatever happens, then it's reasonable to think that Mace Windu did. Like, if we're going to bring back one, we got to, let's have some fair...
Well, if Mace Windu learned the fighting art or whatever that Darth Maul was taught, because it's used to overcome, like, if you're getting electrified. Because, well, the one thing that it's hard to kill Darth Maul's, species.
Even when you chop them in half?
Even, well, anything. They're very robust. They're like a tough
He's just
species.
like a starfish. He just regrew the other half. Now there's two of him.
Well, they might have did what they did to like
To Anakin.
and gave him robot legs or something.
Oh,
I don't
he's
know.
Lieutenant Dan. He's got robot legs. Lieutenant Dan Darth Maul.
I'd buy that action figure.
I would too. In a heartbeat. So I don't know, have you seen anything, like, is Samuel L. Jackson saying this, is he leading up because he wants to be in some of the new movies? Was that the rub in this, or what was the whole point of him?
Well, he said that, and George Lucas agreed with him.
Yeah, but George Lucas doesn't really have anything to do with this anymore.
He does and he doesn't. They bring him on as a consultant, I'm sure.
I don't know.
I mean, they still use Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah.
So he's got some, not necessarily the ultimate word, but they definitely have their ears to him to find out if he has any suggestions.
Well, I'm just wondering if Samuel L. Jackson said it because he would like to be in one of the newer movies as well.
Well, they never show him dead. They show him busting out of the building and falling after being electrocuted.
Mm-hmm. So maybe. So it's potentially possible, depending on where they're going with all the bad guys and stuff. So
very well be.
So would you be interested to see?
Kathleen said it was robot legs. That Darth Maul had robot legs.
Oh, really?
In the video games.
In the video games. Oh, okay. And that's how we get him back.
Because there was supposed to be like a Darth Maul video game.
Is it? Okay, let me ask you if this is just me or if you feel the same way.
It never came out though.
Isn't it weird? And maybe it's because I don't know everything in the universe and I don't read the books or the comics or anything, but why do people grab a hold of these seemingly minuscule characters? Like, people have this big love for Boba Fett. Boba Fett, Boba Fett, Boba Fett. I mean, he doesn't have a huge part in the cinematic universe. Darth Maul, not a huge part in the cinematic universe. Why do you think it is that people, like, grasp onto these teeny tiny characters?
They were just cool looking characters. Just he had that jetpack. But even in the original movies, the jetpack, he doesn't really do anything with it. He just has it on.
Yeah, he just carries it around a lot. He uses it in the scene with Jabba, right? When they're out there over the sand, right? Doesn't he use the jetpack to fly? Or am I mistaken?
The what?
By accident.
By accident, yeah.
By accident, right?
Yeah.
But he still uses it. Like, that's the only time you kind of see him mobile with it, right? So I never understood this whole... I mean, they have Boba Fett backpacks and all the Boba Fett merchandise, and people are buying it, and they're like, oh, God, Boba Fett. I mean, so what? I don't know.
If it's a minor character, it won't, they can't really mess with your headcanon then.
I guess, right? It's a minor character, and then you're like, haha, it still is what I know it to be. I guess. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. Well, in the original movies, he didn't have... Well, because in the prequels, it was more Jango Fett. And Boba was still just a
little kid. But they're supposed to do a standalone, right? Aren't they supposed to do a standalone movie for Boba Fett?
Disney released the thing where he's coming out of the Sarlacc pit, so he's still alive.
So is
who
that
knows?
So is that where we're gonna get his standalone movie from? Have you seen? Because I know they're gonna do a standalone movie for him.
Everybody's assuming that it's gonna start from him coming out of the Sarlacc pit.
But
we don't know.
is his the first one that we're gonna get? I haven't seen the timeline in a while.
I think it's Han Solo.
Han, that's what I thought.
Han Solo's the first
right?
movie.
Well, yeah. Now that they
I still haven't
killed him
heard
and made
who
us all
they're
sad.
going
Oh,
to
sorry,
finally
spoiler alert!
pick.
They kill Han Solo. Forgot to put my spoiler alert on
I
it.
haven't seen it, Colleen.
If you haven't seen it by now, sorry.
Sorry.
So I don't know. I'll be interested to see where this all goes, because you never know if celebrities are talking about this stuff. If it's them trying to get into movies, or they're trying to leak something so that we'll like.
Kathleen says, "I'm in a Star Wars tabletop RPG where Windu lived. I support this theory."
She supports the theory.
He used it to jump from the barge.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
Yeah.
In Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Yes.
I know what I'm talking about. I just can't remember things the way people say.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what I'm talking. All you guys know what I'm talking about. All of you have better grasp of things than I do.
5 lines in the trilogy, and one of them was "Ugh."
Best reading ever.
Best, yeah. I mean, that was skill right there. I'm so impressed.
And then when you actually see a picture of the original Boba Fett, it's this like dorky, nerdy looking dude with a mustache. Real skinny and thin. And it was like, you don't expect Boba Fett to look like that. But he's in the outfit, so you can't tell.
I don't expect anything of Boba Fett. I don't know why everybody's like on top of Boba Fett. Like, Hammerhead was cooler. Like, let's all fall in love with Hammerhead. I mean, he's like a,
Yeah, but he didn't
big
even have a
shark
line.
guy. So Boba barely has lines. Like, come on. Like, if Greedo at least got to try to shoot people, It's like, let's grasp onto somebody. I don't know. I think it's weird. To me, I think it's weird. Like, I never understood the whole... Like, I guess, like, he looks pretty cool. And I guess Darth Maul, he looks pretty cool. And he had some good choreography and stuff, Darth Maul did. But, I mean, ultimately, he kind of
yeah,
gets
because he
cut
can
in half.
really do that.
No, yeah, like in real life, in real life as a human being, he's cool as far as his moves go and stuff. But I don't know. Because remember Disney did that whole, like, Darth Maul dip and everything at their little pop-up cafe. And I don't know. Yoda's cool. I think people should be, like, more hip for Yoda. I mean, Weird Al made a song about Yoda. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, how much cooler could Yoda be?
And isn't Yoda's figure the most expensive one? The one where he had the cloth
Shut up, dude.
robe?
Shut up. Don't tell me that.
And I had one of those.
I did too. He's buried in the
With the
neighbor's
cloth
yard
robe.
somewhere.
Because they changed it later for a plastic one.
Uh-huh.
Like the vinyl, and it wasn't the same.
Yeah, because that was what the rest of them had. They had the vinyl ones. But that was the thing, Yoda with his cloth. I don't even remember why we buried Yoda. Something happened to him. He had to be buried.
Like
and then we forgot him.
One of those saints you have to bury Yoda to sell the house, maybe? Or...
Yeah. No, we were always destroying. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We were always destroying the action figures. Like, I mean...
Do we have anything on Chitanga?
No, nobody's on Chitanga. There was so much not violence in the cartoons and everything that was going on around us, we made our own violence. Like, really? Nobody in G.I. Joe's going to kill each other on the cartoon? Well, we're going to make it happen in the yard. It's like...
Let's do it.
Let's do this thing. Speaking of violence...
Yes. That's all on you.
I have to talk about Game of Thrones all by myself?
It's like all at the bottom there. It says...
Oh, okay. Where do we want to start with Game of Thrones?
That wasn't a good segue.
I'm gonna take my Donatello. And we're gonna leave.
You probably should have let me segue to that. No, I'm kidding.
You're mean as shit, dude.
It's Friday. What do you want from me? I'm trying to get used to it.
I know. So did you want to talk about Game of Thrones or not?
No. Go for it. You have it. You're on.
Forget it. I don't want to talk about it
You're
anymore.
on. It's all you.
It's all me? You
It's
didn't
all
watch
you.
You didn't watch Game of Thrones with me?
I did.
I'm upset now that you told me that George R.R. Martin's not going to finish the book series.
That's
so
what
now
I heard.
Now I can't go on.
That's the story that I saw, but that was back in February. But I haven't seen anything since then.
I don't think he's gonna. I think he's.
He hasn't done it yet,
No.
so.
I think it's all
And
a
it was
lie.
written in there. If you want a 10-page thing that's gonna be worse than the Red Wedding, then I'll give you that, and it'll make sure that it has Tyrion in it. So I don't know if it's true or not. It might be false.
Well, I was dying at the meme that everybody was sending around that supposedly George R. R. Martin tweeted that, oh, everybody likes Lyanna Mormont now, right? She's the little girl that's really tough because whenever we like a character, he kills them. But he doesn't even have a Twitter account, so it was like totally a lie. But still, it was very amusing. So I was like, stop saying you like her. Stop saying she's cool. She's going to die. She's going to die.
Well, Peter Dinklage posted that, didn't he?
Yeah. He's good at he's really good at pimping out Game of Thrones. I don't know if he really just is enjoying
or if it's somebody
this
that does
character
it for him.
or what. Yeah, or if somebody does it for him. So, I'll be interested to see. So we found out about Jon Snow finally. So those of us that have read the books, it doesn't tell us in the book that he's not Ned Stark's bastard son, that he's really Ned Stark's nephew, but we kind of get these clues in the books, so we kind of know that Jon Snow is Ned's nephew, not really his son. And then for him to be from Lyanna Stark and from Rhaegar Targaryen, who was Daenerys' brother, then that makes Jon related to Daenerys. And then we think that Tyrion is related, and they've kind of led us to believe that even more in the show because they showed him talking to the dragons, remember, and the dragons don't eat him or anything. So we think that we're going to have this trifecta of Jon and Daenerys and Tyrion and the 3 dragons to go along with them. Is a lot of the fan theory that we have going on, and I don't see why they wouldn't want to go in that direction. They have been really like lady power with this.
Yeah.
I liked
Sansa was really strong now.
finally
And,
Sansa was strong. Just
Daenerys is finally coming into her own.
Finally, because she was really whiny and getting on my last nerve. I love the way Sansa just like stood there and let Ramses get eaten by his own dogs. So nice. It was so poetic. I was like, yeah. She's getting cold as ice. I'm not sure why she didn't play the game with Littlefinger. I felt like she probably should have like. Sometimes with somebody that's that conniving, you've got to play the game and pretend like you like them until you have the upper hand. So I'm a little concerned about her because she kind of told him to his face, hey, like, this is not going to be happening between us. So, and they probably opened that up because she can't, conquer everything. They've got to leave somebody for her to have conflict with, right? And then some people were thinking that when they were calling for Jon Snow to be Warden of the North or King of the North, that Sansa was upset about it, that she wanted that. But I didn't get that vibe from that scene. Did you get that vibe from that scene that she wasn't really thrilled with Jon?
Well, she was pushing for Jon.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
So I didn't think that she had a problem with Jon being. I don't think she's ready to be vindicated, but I don't think she's ready to be in charge. She's still not far enough away from being that goofy little spoiled girl that she's not ready to be.
It would be a hard transition to like, oh yeah, now I'm super powerful.
Yeah.
And do this. I don't think they should go in that direction if they plan to. Not yet anyway. Even though all the bad stuff that happened to her. But when you were talking about that, there was this theory. And I didn't read it all because I didn't want to destroy Game of Thrones for me. Because sometimes I just kind of like glance over headlines.
Yeah, me too. And then I see if it's, and I'm like, oh no, no.
So right before he gets his jaw ripped off, Ramsay, he tells her that he's part of her.
I just think
it can mean
that...
two things. It can mean that, yeah, she's going to have, like, nasty little thoughts and want to start doing that to other people. Or it can mean that she's pregnant.
See, I don't think so. I think that he was just meaning, like, I'm in your head. Like, you're going to carry me around forever. You're not going to get rid of me even though you kill me kind of thing. That was what I think he meant by that reference.
It can mean that, too. But it can mean all those other things too.
I think that if she's pregnant by Ramsay Bolton, she's gonna throw herself down some stairs like I would. Like, for real. It's like, No. I wouldn't be able to deal with that if I don't think she would be able to deal with that. So I hope that's not what that meant.
Who knows?
She'd be getting something from the Maester to deal with that.
It'd be interesting.
I just don't think that she would let that come to fruition. She would do something. Like, she would just make something happen. I don't know.
But it's her kid, so maybe she wouldn't.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. There was a lot of characters in that final episode. The whole... Man, I was screaming for them not to... not Loris. Was it Loris or Lancel? Lancel, to not blow out the candle. I was like, blow him up, blow him up, blow him up, blow him up. Like, Cersei is so evil. God, she's so calculating and evil. But you know what? Some people ask me, did I think that she knew that Tommen was going to kill himself? And had she, like, figured that in, and was she okay with that? So that she could go back and take over the power. And I had never thought about that because I'm real, like, squishy and feely for my kids and stuff. I can't imagine. But when they put that in my head and I went back and thought about it, I thought...
They kind of lead you to believe that, I think.
Yeah, because she was kind of cold about it. Like, we'll burn him and put him over there, you know, in the ashes with everybody else. And I was like, oh, dang. This chick has problems, like... And then, to me, I felt like when Jaime saw
all
her...
the kids are dead. All her kids are dead. Mm-hmm. All of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
And
then when you saw Jaime at the end, like, looking at her as she ascended to the throne, the way he looked at her, like, oh, maybe I don't want to have nasty relations with my sister anymore. Brianna Tarth is looking a lot better nowadays. He looked kind of, like, concerned about what Cersei had become. So that'll be interesting to see where that goes. I mean, Cersei's going to be in a lot of trouble now that she has the Tyrells and the Martells and everybody, and again, women, strong women, who's gunning for her. And here comes Daenerys with her whole crew to take over Westeros. So I would assume the next season is going to be fairly big battle royale, and then we're going to have the White Walkers from the north.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then Arya. Not only did I kill your son,
she was off my radar till, like, right before you saw it was her.
Yeah.
Completely off my radar. Because I thought, okay, well, Jaime sent
I thought
somebody...
Jaime did too. I thought, well, Jaime's sick of the phrase, right? He's getting sick of this crap. He kind of has these feelings for Brienne a little bit. He's kind of like, you know, having problems with his honor and stuff. So he's going to get rid of old man Frey because the rest of them are going to fall apart without him because they're a bunch of weenies, right? So that's what I thought too. I thought for sure, like, Jaime had set this whole thing up.
Which would have been smart.
Right, totally. And then he gets back some of his stuff, and Jaime can ally himself and get some things back, right? And then it's Arya, and I was like, yeah, all right, it's Arya. I was like,
but it's so weird to see her do that because she's a kid.
But she's always been strong. Like, she was the strongest one of the bunch.
But I think this goes beyond, like, strong.
So homicidal?
Yeah. It really did.
Yeah, she was pretty, she's pretty angry. She
almost looked like she enjoyed it, and they showed
she enjoys it. She always has, yeah.
So she crossed one off her list, so.
Mm-hmm. So then that makes you wonder, because now that they've shown us that the Hound is alive, right? Mm-hmm. So that makes you wonder, they're going to have to throw this at us at some point. Those two are going to have to come back into contact.
Yeah.
She and the Hound. So is she going to let it go?
Seemed to really like him.
Yeah,
she started to like him, yeah.
She did, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where she goes with that. If she makes it back to her brother and sister, if Bran's right there at the wall. I was surprised that they killed Rickon. I was. I thought they were going to have this Stark reunion. But Rickon wasn't really necessary. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I could see, like, they could kill him and it wouldn't.
Just kill him.
Yeah, just kill him. He wasn't really necessary. He didn't really do anything for us. Like, he's just not. It's not a thing. So it'll be interesting to see. I like it. I mean, I know all these people nowadays, there's like this whole party club of people that are like super proud that they've never seen Game of Thrones. Have you seen all that? Like, there's all this posting
It's
now.
hip to not watch it.
Right, now it's super hip. I've never seen Game of Thrones. I'm super cooler than you because I don't watch the mainstream stuff.
Was that not something put out by them to stir up more? Hey, I should watch it.
Maybe.
You don't think it was a marketing ploy?
It's a good marketing ploy if it was.
I would think it was a very good marketing ploy.
We should
If
be
it
smarter.
is, I would
Don't
be
watch
applaud
Geek Out
somebody
SA.
that did that.
It's terrible. Everybody hates watching it. We should start trying. It'll go the opposite way for us. It'll backfire.
Damn it.
And we lost a viewer. No.
Damn it. I
Somebody
hate
just
when
turned
that
us off.
happens.
What the hell? I'm gonna stop talking. So I don't know. I really enjoyed Game of Thrones. So I'm excited. What, 2 years from now it's gonna be the next season. So I'll get to see
We're the
what's going on.
longest running live web show in San Antonio.
Oh, we are? Really? Well, you're like super cool.
Geeky.
I'm like, you're
But
super
then we're the
stubborn.
only ones, so.
And just keep going. You're just more stubborn than everybody else. Nobody knew how stubborn you really were. Yeah. No, you just like doing it. So
Yeah, it's
and
fun.
I'm just here with you just because I live here and I have no choice. Please help me.
You lie. You didn't want to do it at first, but you've
Get me
really
off the
taken to it.
Get a blink SOS.
No, wait, I think that said send more burgers. Wait. What else did we do? Oh, we saw something else. We saw something yesterday. Made me sad.
We saw Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah. It was so sad. Sad that I paid money to see that. We knew it was
Dollar
gonna be
movie.
like we knew it was gonna be
It's-
pretty bad.
It was
It wasn't
campy. It wasn't horrible,
It was
but it
horrible.
wasn't great. If it's Independence Day, it should have been great.
Okay, so let me clarify some things for you just because you didn't know. Nobody else but you thinks Independence Day is great. People think it's real stupid to begin with.
I beg your pardon.
I really love it too, but I get this all the time. People are like, Independence Day is crap. It's one of the most horrible movies ever made, blah, 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 blah. No, yeah, people really hate Independence. The first one. I don't know why. I loved the first one. I thought it was great.
I don't associate with those people.
I thought it was good.
I thought it was great. I
great.
loved Independence Day. I thought it was wonderful.
It's basically War of the Worlds with a cyber virus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's dragging an alien in his parachute across the desert. Come on! And Data's in it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. And Data's in the new one, and you get to see his butt. So that's always funny. I don't know. I thought it was really cute. You know what I thought they did really well in
And
this
tidy
Independence
whities.
Day was you don't really know anything about and I don't even know the character's name in Independence Day. Brent Spiner. You don't know anything about his character from the first movie except
Right.
that he's this doctor and stuff. So he's been in a coma this whole time. And so his husband is there like taking care of him and bringing him orchids. And people complain a lot about them not having enough gay characters and stuff. And I thought that they did that really seamlessly. It wasn't anything you even questioned, right? He was just there, loving him, taking care of him in the coma. It made perfect sense. It was very smooth. It was written really well. So I thought that that was a triumphant piece that they had in that movie.
Yeah.
And then things happen between them, and it's very believable, and it's very, you know, you don't even bat an eye. It just is what it is, you know. So I liked that. I liked the thing with Jeff Goldblum's dad. He's just a funny little quirky guy. And I never remember that actor's name either because I don't know anything about actors, but he's funny. And he has some really good scenes where he's really
What's his
funny.
name from
and-
Taxi?
Yeah, yeah. What's
I
his
forget
face?
his name.
I don't know. But he's really funny. So his character in there is kind of cute. you know, and you kind of like that character, and you're glad that he's in the movie again. But then they have like characters that make no sense whatsoever. They introduce this new character to us that's this government guy who's chasing Jeff Goldblum around to basically kind of be like Chicken Little, you know? And he's annoying. And then he's like all of a sudden super soldier. So I didn't like that. That like kind of agitated me about the movie, that character in particular.
Well, there's probably a reason that Will Smith didn't sign on to do this movie.
Because he was doing Suicide Squad?
And because it wasn't a great script.
I mean, it wasn't horrible. I mean, we don't see what it would have been like with him in it.
I think it probably would have been better with him in it. Had they written a story with him doing it.
I mean, he's older, so did
because
we want to have
Because you don't feel
him
anything for his
son.
You felt like nothing. Like, there was like, okay, whatever. When we thought, yeah.
Yeah, because we're more invested in the characters. We were more invested in Data. We were more invested in Jeff Goldblum. We were more invested in the dude that was the president. Mm-hmm. Like, every time that they're in the scenes, you're more into the movie at that point. Because you already invested in them from the first movie.
You don't care anything about the new president.
No.
Not a thing. You don't care anything about her.
You're like, thank God she's dead. You know?
They haven't seen it, hun.
Oh, she dies. People die in
Spoiler
this movie.
warning.
Spoiler alert. People die in Independence Day. There's a giant alien ship that lands on our planet. Go freaking
You
figure.
probably don't want to pay for it to watch it now. Don't. It's probably a good $1.50 movie.
I thought it was a good $1.50 movie, which is weird.
It was a feel-good movie.
Which is weird, because you usually like everything, and I think I ended up liking this one a little bit better than you did, which I thought was interesting.
It didn't have it for me.
No, it just didn't make those connections to you.
Because I think what made Independence Day what it was Will Smith. And Bill Pullman. And, of course, Bill Pullman was in... Bill Pullman gave you more of the feels in the original movie. Will Smith gave you more of the comedy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
him and Jeff Goldblum together, too,
in
had a
this
really good
movie,
dynamic.
there was too much of the comedy and not enough of the feels. You didn't care. You didn't really care who died.
Yeah, I will give you that. There's a couple of really big scenes where you think that some of the major players that are younger actors, you know, are going to bite it, and you're like, oh, okay, whatever. Can move on. Go show us Jeff Goldblum again. Like, it's kind of that, right? Yeah, it was kind of some of that. So, and I don't know if necessarily that's the writing or we just kind of like everybody from the original movie.
A little both.
I would have liked to have seen Randy Quaid's kids incorporated into the movie.
That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping like one of those kids was going to be like an older Randy Quaid's kid. That would have been a cool thing. I think it would have been cool.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that was one of the things that it was really missing, was like, really, we don't mention him or his family at all. Like, there's nothing. So that I thought was a boo. That was a boo.
And you didn't have, what's his name? Adam Baldwin either. In there, I was like, well, why didn't they get on Adam Baldwin in it?
Yeah, it definitely could have been better. It wasn't like Fantastic Four bad.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't think it was that bad.
It wasn't horrible. It's just not what
What you were hoping for. And I think when you wait this long...
Could have been better. A lot better.
Yeah. I think when you wait this long for a sequel to happen, you have certain expectations and hopes for what it's going to be. That's why I'm really worried about Ghostbusters. I know that you said you thought this new trailer was better, and I'm going to go see it with you.
You don't like the aspect, for one, you don't like how the ghosts look. See the original movie, the ghost didn't look any better.
Look, you need to stop making me go back and see these original movies, because I have ideas in my head of how wonderful you are, and then you show me Poltergeist, and I'm like, is that really how that movie was? Because now no.
It was bad cheese. We just saw it like yesterday or something.
Yes. And I felt bad. I was like, that's not how that happened.
And it was like horrible, horrible green screen stuff.
Bad. So bad.
It was way worse than what you see here.
It was so cheesy. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, so maybe I should, before we go watch the new Ghostbusters, go back and watch the old one, and I'll be like, oh. No, for me, I think it's a Rick Moranis, it's a Bill Murray, it's, a Dan Aykroyd thing. It's who it was, and how good they're. And I like.
It is bothering
Melissa
me a little bit
McCarthy.
that they're not doing this as like a continuance of what happened before, but a total redo on it.
Kind of like a reboot, yeah.
Yeah, they are rebooting it because it didn't seem like they even knew what the Ghostbusters was in some of the trailers.
I don't know. I
Like
haven't
it's
seen
this
if there's
new
any
thing that they came up with.
they came up with. The only saving grace for me so far that I see in the new movie is their weapons. They have some really fun weapons. So I think I like that. I like Melissa McCarthy. She hasn't done a movie yet that I didn't like. I just happen to like her. I think she's really funny. I liked Spy and Tammy and all of those stupid. I liked Identity Thief. I just she's funny. Like sometimes
She's even funny
so
on
annoying.
Mike and Molly.
Yeah. Like sometimes she's that annoying kind of funny where you wish you could like reach into the screen and slap her around. Like Step Brothers kind of funny where you just want to choke them to death and like you want them to get buried in the backyard kind of thing. But to me she's funny. So I'm looking forward to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't even know the other actress. I do know, but I don't remember what her name is. The skinny chick who's always in she was in the Bridesmaid movie with Melissa McCarthy. I don't remember what her name is. She's funny. She's usually funny in some of the stuff she does. And then the other two, I don't even know who they are. And then I'm pretty sure they added Thor in there just to have, some abs and stuff. It's like, I don't know. They should
But
have
it doesn't
Rick
even
Moranis.
seem like they are using him for that because there's not.
Because he's in a onesie the whole time?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They make him seem like more of a dork.
Well, from the new trailer, you see that he gets possessed by one of the ghosts, and then he goes and he's opening the portal bigger for more ghosts, or something. It alludes to he becomes possessed and he becomes part of like the bad guy squad or whatever. So I don't know. I'll
Because
go watch it.
it's going to bother me because it seems almost like the same movie. That aspect of it bothers me. Because they didn't try to, maybe this is just
This is like 20 years later and they found out about these guys and they've been doing research and they want to continue it or whatever. But maybe they will and we just haven't heard about it yet.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll put out Ghostbusters Ultimate Edition and it'll be better and then we'll like it.
Which was a good segue.
Yes. Segue.
That was an excellent segue to Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition was leaked out, and some people have seen it in the theaters. I guess they were inviting like media. I wasn't invited.
Go figure.
Because it was like Hollywood or something like that, and we're just geek out of saying. But apparently, the original movie was 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
This Ultimate Edition, which was how it was supposed to be released, is 3 hours. So I think they cut it down because, who wants to release a 3-hour movie? I was like, they did it with JFK. Wasn't that 4 hours or something like that?
It was long.
It was long. Super long.
But what they said about this movie is, even though they added, and it wasn't just like big chunks, it was like 2 or 3 minutes, but it was to a bunch of scenes. And it was like, some lines were like increased, so they cut it off at a different place, which made everything make more sense.
So it had better like continuity all the way through it.
Yeah, that it was going all through. It had better continuity, and it wasn't as slow as it was in the beginning.
I hear it still doesn't fix like some of the big problems we
It doesn't.
have.
It doesn't fix completely
the whole,
the
like,
end of it.
we're fighting until we find out our moms have the same name and then we're best friends forever. Oh, God. It doesn't fix that. It doesn't fix the whole, okay, now Lois has the ultimate weapon and she throws it away and now she's got to go get it back. And, and it doesn't fix the whole, oh, well, we have all these characters that just kind of stand there and do nothing during the fight. And they're like cheering, woohoo, off the cheer section. Wonder Woman got to do a couple of cool things and then...
Well, there's some interesting stuff that happens at that final thing, so I'd be happy to see it.
I'll watch it
when
because
it says-
I
because
really,
it's supposed-
really wanted it to be good.
But apparently, people that hated it after they saw this said they really liked it.
I don't know if they really liked it.
No,
but
no.
They Fantastic Four'd it.
Like the
and
guy
then
that did
they,
the
like gemmed it.
that did the documentary on the death of Superman.
Yeah, the one with where Nicolas Cage was going to be Superman.
He was one of the ones that was talking about it, and he said it made it. It was a 6 when I saw it. When I saw the initial one, and when he saw this new one, he bumped it up to an 8.5.
So maybe it was enough to really
So
make
it
the
fixed
difference.
a lot of the stuff that happened. It explains stuff why people hated Superman. It explains that.
Does it explain why he's like carrying the tanker across the ice? Because I hated that scene too. Like, what was the point of that scene?
It probably
if we're gonna
explains,
cut stuff, let's cut that.
because they didn't even mention that part of it.
There was like no explanation. That was just the stupidest scene, like
That was a
random
dumb scene,
right in the
yeah.
middle. Look, I can pull a tanker boat across some ice. Oh, good for you. Good job. You're Superman. You're the
But
super-
it explains Lex's what he's doing in the background, being the puppet master of all this stuff.
So it doesn't fix Jesse Eisenberg's acting, but it kind of addresses it.
It addresses it. It makes it make more sense.
That's good. I mean, I'll go see it. Are they saying that they're going to release it in the theaters first, or is it going to go straight to the...
It's going to go to the Blu-ray, and you can pick it up and watch it on that. I'm sure some theaters might do it, or maybe we can talk to one of the theaters to get it viewed. Might be a thing.
I'll watch it again because I really, really want it.
Because it would be cool to actually see that in the theater.
I really like Henry Cavill as Superman. For me, since Christopher Reeve, he is, for me, the best.
And in this one, there's more Superman in the new...
That's good. I'm always down for more Superman. Do you know, is Ben Affleck the Batman in the Suicide Squad movies? I haven't looked to see. Do you know? Have you heard? Or is it somebody different who's going to be...
I don't know, because you see the Batmobile, right?
Yeah, because the trailers for the Suicide Squad, now that's a movie I want to see. Those trailers...
They have to go back and reshoot some scenes after Batman vs. Superman. But if they had just left it... maybe if they just didn't cut it like they did to Batman vs. Superman, to cut it down to... Because you're cutting 30 minutes of a movie and you're chopping stuff off that... Just like Lawnmower Man. I didn't like the original Lawnmower Man, but the director's cut made complete sense. It explained everything. And you're like, hey!
Hey, well, why didn't they show us this to begin with?
Yeah, they like all the people on the panel that were talking about it said, I would never watch Batman vs. Superman theatrical release ever again.
Because
ever
the
again.
Ultimate is so much different.
Yeah, they should have. They said they should have just released that, even though it's 3 hours, because it explains everything.
Yeah, and I think people will sit through a 3-hour movie if it's good, if we're enjoying it. And I
You
wonder
just can't
if
drink anything because you're gonna have to
go to the bathroom.
go to the bathroom.
That's the
eventually.
worst. That's the worst.
They could bring intermissions back.
Yes,
Yeah.
they could.
Just for Batman
Batman
vs.
versus
Superman
Superman.
Ultimate Edition.
You're always waiting for like that perfect moment in the movie, right? Where you're like, okay, I think they're gonna talk for a few minutes right here. It seems like they're talking a lot. Let me run.
I have an app for that actually.
Oh, really?
It shows you when you should duck out to you won't miss anything.
Shut your mouth. Are you serious? Oh my god, I need that because I always have to pee, and I'm like, they're at the end of the movie going, oh god, And he's like, just go already. Just go, run.
Or, don't touch me. Don't
I
touch me.
know, I'm like,
I
don't
gotta
touch me. I have to pee. Don't touch me. Oh, God.
So I'll be happy to watch that, and because they've taken a lot of flack for that, to do that. But no, we had we talked about Mace Windu possibly still being alive. Maybe they'll bring him back in the new episodes. That would be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind that. They have what else did we talk about? We talked about Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition.
Mm-hmm. Talked about some tabletop games.
Oh, Texicon.
Texas.
And that's about it. That's about it. And
Anything
we
else?
talked about Chris, our new producer.
Producer guy.
So yeah, no, you're gonna hear more of him and maybe see him ever so often.
Yeah, maybe he can just help us like fill in on some of the anime stuff that we don't really follow or know much about, and correct us when we're wrong. And
We'll bring Lisa in for that.
yeah, we can always have Lisa in. She's a trip. If we can get her to actually talk about what we're talking about and stay with us, that'd be awesome.
You know she's watching right now.
I love you, Lisa. She knows. She knows.
She knows.
I always have a good time when she's here, though. But yeah, we all derail. Talk about derailing. It's like,
Got to bring y'all back. But no, again, Al, you're a great producer. We'll miss you being on the show, but glad you're doing what you want to do and having more fun. And we'll see you at Game Expo. Chris, thanks for coming and helping us out. And
I got big shoes to fill.
yeah.
you do.
You do.
You do.
But you'll be fine.
You're filling them out pretty good right now, so it works. I think this change is going to work.
Yeah.
So thanks for checking us out. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen, and that's Chris.
Geek Out SA.